Hey everybody, thank you for joining me here on Let's Talk Weather. It is a Wednesday night. That's right, here late on a Wednesday night. It's been a busy, busy day in the weather world. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on Michael today. Unless you were sleeping under a rock all day, you know that Michael made landfall just east of Panama City. Actually, I believe from what I was watching, I was at the TV station earlier today. It looked like the eye wall went over my first duty station down at Tyndall Air Force Base, and yeah, it was not looking good. 155 miles per hour, just shy of a Category 5, right around 1 o'clock this afternoon. And yeah, so if you haven't seen all that, I would suggest go online, check all that stuff out. You won't have to travel far from here. Again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on what happened. We'll talk a little bit about what is expected, because in some ways it impacts what will happen here locally in the Pittsburgh area. But generally speaking, it's more of an issue for North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and then out over the Atlantic. Pretty much what I had told you earlier this week and late into the weekend. Speaking of the TV station, a little update here. I was just notified today, actually when I was at the station, that I don't have a 7 o'clock show or a 6:30 show this Saturday or next Saturday. We're being preempted due to Big Ten football. I know, if you're a football fan, good news for you. Great game coming up this Saturday, though, if you haven't seen that matchup. I believe it is Wisconsin and Michigan, if memory serves me correct. But anyway, so I won't have an early show. We will come on after the football game on Saturday night, both this weekend and next weekend. And then I will have two full shows on Sunday, 6:30 and 11, both this weekend and next weekend. So tune in there if you're here locally. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have to say on that. All right. Let's get into the business of weather. All right, I'm going to shrink myself out of the way. There we go. Put baby down in the corner. All right. And that is your current picture. All right, here is your satellite loop, enhanced infrared satellite loop that I've got going on here. Plenty of low clouds in the cold air wrapping around low pressure up here to the north. You can see that right up in here. I will draw this here in a second, but this, of course, is Michael. At this particular moment, Category 1, getting ready to weaken down to a tropical storm, but on an obvious path where it's going to end up moving to the north and to the east, and that means for us that we are looking at, well, yeah, strong gusty winds, pretty heavy-duty rain, and then it will move off relatively quickly in a path that'll look something like this. Here it goes up and through, out and away. Okay? Not perfect, but pretty close to what is expected for Michael's path. Now, it did make landfall right down here. This is about where it made landfall here. And just on the left edge of that little dot I drew is Tyndall Air Force Base, just out to the east of Panama City, Florida. And that's actually where I got my start in weather on active duty and on television there at WJHG in Panama City. So near and dear to my heart, definitely was noticing some places I remember when I was watching the news coverage of that. But Michael is very, very different from what happened in North Carolina a couple weeks ago. Reason being, it's already moving at 17 miles per hour, so it's going to get in and out. It is not going to linger. Flooding is not nearly as much of an issue because it is a fast-moving tropical system as opposed to a loitering tropical system. It was much stronger, albeit when it made landfall, but again, fast-moving, so the damage, while being devastating in some areas, was not a product of the heavy-duty rain or it kind of because it's stuck in one spot. That is not the case. And the reason is because we have low pressure. I'm going to draw that low for you. It is right up here. You can see it spinning around. There it is. And off of that low, you have a draping cold front, and it looks something. I'm going to draw it's a little bit of a stationary front here, occluded front, but it drops down. The cold front comes down about like this. Okay. I'm not going to worry about well, I'll draw it a little bit here. Usually draw it like this. So it comes up and around, wraps into here, and there's actually a warm front. Why not? I got the pen, and you guys are here anyway. So the warm front comes up and over like this. Okay, so that's about what the system looks like. This front will drive to the east and force Michael to move away from it like that. And I'll draw it out. And that means, again, what we talked about early in the week is that we are going to transition here locally up in this area into cooler air. So all of this back in here is nothing but a big old mass of cool. Cool. You could almost call it cold. Comparatively speaking, this is cold. Okay? We're going to see a sizable drop in our temperatures. That should come as no surprise to anybody because we've been talking about it for a while. It is going to be noticeable. And it's going to linger with us. It's going to be around for a little while. So let's go to a little bit of a different view. Let me clear that off, get this out of the way, and we're going to go to the radar. Pretty much shows you the same picture, but a little bit clearer as far as the wet weather is concerned. You can see Michael right down in here. Here is the edge of the cold front dropping down like that. Moving out, we had some showers around Pittsburgh today. We will expect a little bit more rain on Thursday morning. Not really a heavy hitter, though. If you dive in on this, you'll notice just a couple of isolated showers, quick band of rain as the front moves through. But it is not about the rain. It is about the transition from the warm and muggy to the cold and dry. That is really going to be the big story for us over these next couple of days. And again, you'll notice it is pretty dry back out here. I do anticipate some rain early in the weekend, probably Saturday morning. Not a huge thing, but tease, all right, foreshadowing. Could we see the first snowflakes of the season? Get to that in a minute. All right, let's move ahead. I want to show you what the surface map looks like. This is it here. There's Michael there. Here's that low. Remember I showed that little bit of an occluded front. That's what I drew as a purple, and here's your cold front. Here is, they've got it in here as a stationary front. It's stationary versus / warm front. You get the picture, though. And this is all the warm air that is getting ready to leave, and it'll be replaced by the pocket of cold air in behind it. Let's go to the maps. This is the, again, the 3-kilometer resolution, NAM. I like this. We're going to start it at 7 o'clock on Thursday. Here is your wet weather. Here is the rain coming in ahead of the front. I'll go ahead and slide this because I can control the speed a little bit. And your pause points. There we go. Notice the rain kicks through. Here it is. We're already drying out. It is 20Z. Okay, 20Z is subtract 4. That's 16. That means this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. We're already drying out. There is a front going through, so you will see the temperatures drop quickly. That forces Michael to go off the coast. There he goes. And then in behind it, look at these little bands. Oh, let me draw this because this is fun. All right. Now, for my friends up in Erie, who you'll know what I'm talking about here, you have some bands coming in off the water. Look at these bands right here. See those? If it were colder, these would be lake effect bands, like lake effect snow. At this point, they're really kind of lake effect rain. But if we were another 25 degrees cooler, this would be lake effect snow. That's the kind of instability we're dealing with here with this particular system. So it is interesting to look at. Even the models are picking that up, so I like what it's doing right now with this. We'll move ahead again. Let's go into late Friday evening. Here we go. Friday night football all around the region. It will be a chilly affair. It is going to feel like football weather. Here is our rain for early Saturday morning, kicking in midnight-ish, maybe a little bit earlier. 3Z, it was about 11 o'clock Friday night. And you see the rain kick in, and here we are. We'll stop it at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Ooh! Do I see flakes? I see blue. I'm not completely sold that we'll see much in the way of flurries or slush even on Saturday, but it is an indicator of the changes we have on the way. It is going to be cool. I think our best chance is going to come early next week. Not to give it all away, but it rhymes with Thursday. Not Thursday, earlier than that. You get my point. Anyway, so this is for your Saturday morning. And it is going to be chilly. It is going to be wet to start. But the good news is it does kick through. Let's go to a slightly different view. Excuse me, this is a lower resolution model. I'm using it because you have more days, but it does start at the same time Saturday morning. There's your rain. kicking out, drying up. Notice we're good, we're clear, we're dry. Actually, I expect to see some sunshine Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. And you'll see it staying nice and dry. A little bit of high pressure there for Sunday morning. Here we go into Monday. And then watch what happens late on Monday, midday. Here we go. There it is. Wet weather starts to return. Wet, wet, and then into early Tuesday. This is actually 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. But you can see the wet weather here, and there's going to be more cold air in behind this as we get a secondary front to kick through. And that opens a door to what potentially could give us, dare I say it, snow. Okay, all right, it's not full-fledged snow. Maybe higher elevations could see some slush, some flakes mix in with their early morning Tuesday rain, and I'll show you why I started looking at that. It is your text data. Let's get to that in a second. Let me start off with the short term first, okay? Let's go up here. Let's talk about how we're going to change over the next couple of days, especially even on our Thursday. We have ourselves some pretty obvious stuff going on here in the short term. Notice temperatures to start the day. Let me roll this down a little bit. Actually, we're good right here. You'll notice that at 12Z, which is 8 in the morning, this model has 66. This model has 71. So it's going to be somewhere in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. But I want you to notice the trend as we go through the day. 68, 67, 63, 57 at 8 o'clock in the evening. This one shows 53. So while it doesn't cool off quickly right away, it is a steady drop in temperatures as we go through the day, and it is noticeably chilly by Thursday evening. Okay, the rain itself will dry out quickly, but then we go into early Friday morning, showing a morning low of 44 or 41. I'll probably put in here about 42, maybe 43 for my predicted low. And then as we go through, look at the highs. For Friday itself, 54 here, only 49 degrees. I'm going to probably hedge more toward the 50 to 51 mark for this Friday. It is going to be chilly, and yeah, it's going to be notable considering we've been in the mid-80s this week. For much of this early part of the week, it's been in the mid-80s. Let's go to the extended forecast. As we go through beyond the weekend, here's chilly air. Again, right around 50, 51 on Saturday, down to 37 for a low. Now, here's why I don't really go with snow or flakes on Saturday. It's 39. That's chilly, but it's just not quite cold enough. So I'm not really buying the flakage on Saturday. But look what happens here early on Tuesday. So we deal with a light rain on Monday, down to 36. Okay, remember, this is all for the Pittsburgh airport. That's what KPIT means, which is that's the identifier for the Pittsburgh airport, because that's where the models are centered. 36 there. What happens if you're in higher elevation than 36? So those are the places where I could see, or even a little bit further to the north, see some slush mix in early on Tuesday morning. Yes, I said it. Now, we are stuck with 50s. The only day is in the 50s here, 61 on Sunday. That's probably closer to 59 anyway, but I would go 50s for highs all the way through into the middle part of next week, maybe even as far out as next Thursday. Some off and on rain, a couple of flakes on Tuesday, again, slush in some isolated locations would not be out of the question. And that's it for our forecast. It is not terrible, but everything is pretty much on track with what I had told you on Sunday, I believe is when I posted that last forecast. So no major surprises here. We continue on with the cold weather, fall-like weather, and yeah, it's going to be stark. I was hoping we'd at least get a few days, give me a week or so, where we have highs in the upper 60s, you know, just kind of nice sunshine with the fall, the leaves changing colors. Nah, Mother Nature saying, not yet. Now we're going to go right into the sweatshirt weather, especially considering we're seeing a 30-degree drop in temperature. It's going to feel even colder to you. That's my story right now. Again, keep tuned this weekend. No early show in the next 2 Saturdays, but I will be on for the late show Saturdays and for Sunday, 6:30 and 11. Give the channel a like. Drop me a couple of notes if you'd like. Maybe you have an event coming up and you're concerned, hey, is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be cold? What do we have going on? I'll toss it in there for you. Why not? And, oh yeah, my buddy Jim, for friends who know me, Woody, my buddy Jim is going to be in town this weekend as well. He's an airline pilot, so sometimes he flies to Pittsburgh. So we'll be hanging out with him on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing my boy Woody. All right, that's it for now. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Tune in and, yeah, catch you around the bend.